Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back here on the channel with a second NBA news video to get through all the other stuff I want to talk about for NBA Central, so let's get around to it. So, Ian Begley, the Lakers, will meet with Bruce Brown. We've been talking about this with Bruce Brown, where the Pacers could be an option in the last video. And the Lakers are going to meet with them. That's why they cleared so much cap space, because they might try and get Bruce Brown. So I'm kind of confused because one report said they're not going to, I think. Same person, Ian Begley. This report says the Lakers will meet with him. I feel like the Lakers are going to meet with everybody. But I feel like Bruce Brown's an excellent high-energy role player. I don't think he's like some borderline starter that will become a star, like the Pacers think, where they could sign to a big like $20 million a year deal. But he's an excellent high-energy role player that the Lakers could desperately need off the bench to have some energy. So we have some more stuff talking about Max Strus with the Heat and Cavs. So possibly they've discussed there might have been discussions of a sign and trade involving Max Strus between the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers per FLA Sports Buzz. I mean, it makes complete sense, I guess. Maybe Strus is a better fit for Cleveland's roster than Caris LeVert, but LeVert isn't going anywhere, and I have no idea how he doesn't fit. Maybe too much overlap in the ball handling with Garland and Mitchell, but that's why he's their sixth man, though. He was great. He made great playmaking efforts in the time Ricky was recovering. So I can get both of those points, but you're still bringing back Caris even after they make that move. If you were to get Max Strus, you would still bring back Caris LeVert. But I would still rather have Caris LeVert than Max Strus, because the Heat were able to hide some of his weaknesses, but they couldn't hide him good enough. He just got exposed in the playoffs. He's not as good as some people think. So breaking, per the NY Post, of ESPN has let go of Jalen Rose, as we mentioned. Well, I didn't talk about this in the last video because I didn't get to this story as the video I had to end it. But ESPN has let go Jalen Rose per the NY Post. As you know, he was on the NBA countdown shows before the games. And unfortunately, ESPN has let him go. I mean, he's better than Kendrick Perkins. Why are we letting go of him for Kendrick, to basically keep Kendrick Perkins? ESPN is just going downhill, like they're falling apart. The NBA draft had a bad cast and coverage. They let go of all the good people. Just terrible, dude. The NBA draft coverage this year was just atrocious. They should just give those rights to the TNT crew. Or something different. Maybe the TNT crew doesn't want to do that, but maybe money could help them. But the TNT crew is the best on TV, but you know only one possible with the knowledge of the draftees is probably Ernie. Chuck and Shaq would probably be watching the players' highlights live for the first time. He'd be like, Chuck, I don't know who this Wembanyama dude is, but he can play, Shaq. He'd be like, stop. And I really like some big San Antonio women. That's something like the TNT broadcast, but at least it's funny. Kenny probably does know some ball. But the ESPN just trash, just going downhill. It's just going downhill. So teams meeting with Bruce Brown, besides the Lakers, which is per Ian Begley. Here, the New York Knicks, Houston Rockets, Indiana Pacers, and the Dallas Mavericks are also 4 other teams meeting with Bruce Brown. So, there's a lot of teams here. But just imagine these two, you have to play against them defensively. Bruce Brown and Josh Hart. If he were to go for the Knicks, that defense would be tough with Josh Hart and Bruce Brown. Because that would be an upgrade. That can help your defense right there. But the Pacers really want to get Bruce Brown. It seems like, from the first report I talked about in the first video. If you want to go watch that, go watch that. It's like a 15-minute video. That's a lot of news. This one will probably be like near 15 minutes. The Indiana Pacers are now up to $36 million in cap space per Brian T. Robb. What's Indiana cooking here? What's Indiana trying to do here? Are they really going to try and pay $20 million for Chris Brown, but they now have $36 million? But maybe watch them not do nothing because no one wants to go there. But watch them sign Bruce Brown and then call it an off season because nobody wants to be in Indiana. I mean, that's a good signing though. If that's your only signing, that's a pretty damn good signing, if you ask me. But if it's over $20 million a year though, that would be such a Pacers thing to do. If they only sign him, but they're cooking absolute nothing. That's your answer. Breaking: ESPN has let go of Jeff Van Gundy. Thank God. Greatest day in basketball. Jeff Van Gundy's been fired. I mean, I can get where people say the media hates honest take and criticism. But honest takes and criticism, one thing happens in a play and he proceeds to spend the rest of the game talking about it. And he's literally just crying there. I mean, ain't for good reason, maybe. Maybe he's watching fun, and the last shit I seen in the NBA is worth making fun of. Like, the officiating's become a straight joke. But he did a good bit of criticizing officials on the air on the last season, followed by silence or caution from his broadcast colleagues. He couldn't make unbiased commentary, so he had to go. I get people saying, oh, he had honest takes, criticism, but yet it was funny how he only criticized officiating when it went against one of his favorite teams. He couldn't make unbiased commentary, so he had to go. I'm sorry. I mean, sure, he keeps it real, but I'm tired of just him yelling at everybody's freaking ear every game. ESPN's just better off. But they fired the person maybe with the most personality. But he wanted to argue about everything. I don't know if arguing is personality. These ESPN downfall. Per Windhorst, ESPN, the Clippers are not offering Paul George in any trade package for James Harden, per Brian Windhorst. Which, I mean, obviously the Clippers are not going to offer Paul George any trade package for James Harden. I mean, why would they? This is literally common sense. I don't know why Sixers fans thought PG was going to get traded when they would bring James Harden in so you could have a big three: Paul George, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. This is not source worthy. I could have been the source. I think it was on the Get Up show or whatever on ESPN though, or something like that. Kevin O'Connor has a trade idea between the Clippers and Sixers. Clippers receive James Harden and PJ Tucker. It's a whole lot of mid right there. Sixers receive Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, Nicholas Batum, 2028 first round pick, 2030 first round pick. Sixers win this trade easy. Why would anyone trade 2 first round picks for James Harden? And why would the Clippers make this trade? Why would they trade 4 quality role players? They're 6-man, a good quality starter in Terrence Mann, and Batum, who's a good starter, and Covington, a good bench player. What is Kevin O'Connor on? Why would the Clippers accept this? That's way too much for Harden. Like, I don't get this. The Houston Rockets, per Kelly Iko, the Houston Rockets are expecting to meet with Kyrie Irving of The Athletic. Why would he join the Houston Rockets? Be serious. Why would he want to join the Houston Rockets? Quote, he wants to win a ring. He's not going to win a ring in Houston. If they're trying to develop their young talent, this is the last signing they need to make. I mean, Jalen Green literally said on Tope Jr.'s podcast that he wants to play with Kyrie, but why? He's not going to the Rockets anyways. Lil Wayne will be involved more than ever in Undisputed going forward. I don't know what that means. Yeah, and I still won't watch it. Now, the New York Knicks have emerged as a favorite to sign Donte DiVincenzo. I talked about this in one of the videos. I don't even know what video I talked about him, but it's one of the recent ones. But hell, I think Donte was one of the favorites, or the Knicks were one of the favorites to sign Donte DiVincenzo. That's pretty much a perfect fit. I feel it's the right fit for him, and you got former Villanova Wildcats, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson, and you already got pre-existing team chemistry. So that'd be a great signing. So, and Donte DiVincenzo here, per my case, is basically leaving the Warriors. Quote, Donte won't return to the Warriors, I'm told. He's earned a pay raise. He may double what he could have gotten from Golden State. The Knicks are one of the handful of teams interested. When it comes to DiVincenzo, he's competing in this market for similar money from mid-level exception teams with Bruce Brown, maybe Max Strus. He's had moments. I think he'll get like 10 to 12 million. I think it's normal. I think he's good. I think he deserves 10 to 12 mil. Per report, the Lakers are being linked to Cam Reddish and Yuta Watanabe. If you're the Lakers, you might be down to give Cam Reddish a chance. I think Darvin and Phil Handy can get him right, and Yuta Watanabe's a really good three-point sniper. So that would be a really good addition whenever team gets him. Maybe a contender. Maybe. Who knows? Via ESPN, Brian Windhorst, quote, I would not be surprised if we see Kyrie want to investigate what's going on in Philadelphia. If Harden moves out, if there's a window for him to come in. And, quote, via Brian Windhorst. This actually makes a lot of sense, because if you lose Harden, you could get Kyrie, who's a free agent, and maybe he wants to go there. If Harden gets traded. So the Heat are expected to show interest per Shams Charania via the rally. So Shams Charania says he might go to the Heat, but I just don't think he fits that Heat culture with that team. I really don't. NBA Insider says LeBron James cares more about winning with Bronny than winning another championship. Honestly, that makes enough sense. I feel like he has enough rings, and him winning another one won't really do anything for his career or make him near the GOAT, in my opinion. So Omar Yurtseven's agent said, quote, we'll try to find a place that values him and helps him reach his potential. I'm sorry, who? Who? What, the G League? Who is this? A few more stories to talk about, so this will be the second NBA video of the day, and I'll actually get through all the news for the NBA Central. There's, quote, optimism that a 4-year, $120 million contract will be enough to keep Fred VanVleet in Toronto, per at Michael Grange. What's the point in this for Toronto? They have to blow up this roster. It's nowhere near NBA Finals contender. Just trade everyone at this point. Fred VanVleet getting paid $30 million a year, that's wild. They're so poorly run, it's crazy. Orlando's emerging as a landing spot for Joe Ingles. It's hard to be excited about Joe Ingles' post. I mean, they need shooting, though, so it makes sense. They need another shooter, so it makes sense. Report, Miami's a team to watch for Monte Morris. So that'd basically be a Gabe Vincent replacement. Dario Saric is likely to sign with the Warriors. I think it's a good move. Because it would be a good pickup, because he can rebound, he can stretch the floor, good three-point shooter, and that fits the Warriors, the typical Warriors signing. So it's kind of a lovely signing, if you ask me. I don't really consider it like an Otto Porter thing, but I think it's a good signing, though. Lakers, quote, trending toward bringing back D'Angelo Russell, could sign him to a 2-year, $40 million deal. I mean, he's fine for the regular season and as a trade chip, but he cannot be in your playoff rotation. $40 million is wild. Joel Embiid has been mentioned around league circles as New York's ideal trade candidate if he ever demands out, per S. Bunny NYDN. Quote, if Harden is out, what does that mean for the Sixers contending timeline? Joel Embiid in particular, Embiid, the league's reigning MVP, has been mentioned around league circles as New York's ideal trade candidate if he ever demands out. He ain't gonna demand out. And why would he want to go to New York? Like, this is fucking fake news, if I've ever heard fake news. Nets are trading Joe Harris to the Pistons for 2 future second-round picks. The Nets are trading Joe Harris and 2 second-round picks to the Pistons to clarify. So, per sources. So, the 19.9 expiring contract on with Harris, the Nets are sending Pistons a 2027 second-round pick via Dallas and a 2029 second-round pick via Milwaukee. So, that's basically the trade. And the Blazers are waiving Trenton Watford. Oh, who cares? But yeah, that's all I'll say for this video. So, until next time, Mac Light. Peace. Oh, yeah, and Harrison Barnes signed back to the Kings 3 years, $50 million or whatever he has. Such a big overpay. But that's all I'm saying. Until next time, Mac Light. Peace.